Wait. Alright, there. We're just gonna be watching random ass things. I just typed in random. Nah, what do we want to react to? I react to random ass things. Really don't have anything in mind.
Oftentimes, the only thing worse than suspense is when the unknown finally becomes revealed.
I was waiting for my teacher to send me my other one so I can do hand in 6 things now.
What?
I handed in 5 assignments already. I'm waiting for my teacher to send me another thing. Oh, and the bad thing is, it's Spanish.
That is one.
So I'm gonna be cheating and I'm gonna be using Google. I don't know Spanish unless it's in a song. Literally, like one of the things on it just says random ass letters, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't know what that means. And it's an assignment I have to do, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, Google, help me now. Google will save me.
Hunted him for some time, a man with pure black eyes. After 5 days of playing a sound file that's meant to attract spirits, he finally catches this strange visitor on his front porch. Is this just a man wearing a robe, or is this a ghost like he claims? The video quality is not that great, but even zoomed in
Nah, it's a man stalking
all
him.
the way, you still cannot see the figure's eyes. The former YouTuber claims this phantom stood outside for an hour before abruptly disappearing. Now, you might have noticed that in the beginning, I said ex-YouTuber Fantastic Daily. That's because shortly after this video was recorded, his entire YouTube channel was taken down. You can say what you want about this video, but one fact remains. It's years later and he has yet to return. Number 10. A small dog barks its head off at the door while a second one sits quietly like nothing is wrong. After
What are you
barking
doing,
for
Kimberly?
7 seconds, the dog tracks an invisible figure with its head, and then
With
piano
its
music
head.
plays, followed by a faraway voice
I like his voice.
saying the word deer. According to the uploader, they did not hear this piano music or the voice until they watched this video. In fact, the only reason they started recording in the first place
I didn't hear
was
no
because one
piano
dog
nor
was
no
barking
voice.
and not the other. Nobody else was in the house, and this was just before 3 a.m. Number 9.
Ooh, 3
A
a.m.
YouTuber named Shay
The
XL
devil's
and
hour.
her friend, Brandy Lynn, are trying on various outfits and walking around the mall when they apparently attract a follower. This is the first time they notice him, and they sound more annoyed than scared.
Why does this guy keep following us? Like, literally, he keeps following us.
Compare this to the 4th time they see him, and you can tell they really are in fear. No one should have to go through this, and I feel really bad for them.
We just saw him again, so that's the 3rd time that we saw him. Oh my god, he's following us. He's following us.
The way he keeps glancing at them, while trying not to be obvious, makes me wonder how much practice he was doing this before. He obviously cannot control himself and keeps needing to take another look. He refuses to give up his pursuit and continues pretending to look at clothes. I guess it's possible, but somehow I seriously doubt he has more interest in these bright red dresses than he does in them. All of this might have been a coincidence, if not for this part, where he walks directly towards them at the end. In my opinion, He only stops and turns when he realizes they have his face on video.
Look, he's right there. He's literally following us.
Still, even knowing that he is caught on camera, he still passes them once more, and this time turns his head to stare. Is this all a big misunderstanding, or is he getting one
Yikes.
final look in the most creepy way possible?
I don't know, his
8,
face is blurry, so
a
I can't tell.
YouTuber named Ice-T and his friend go out to an old local graveyard that's just off a long country road. After a couple minutes of exploring, he zooms in on what could be a creature or even someone on their hands and knees. What? I mean, that could be almost anything. But did you notice the strange flash of light coming from deeper in the woods seconds before? When shown up close, it definitely...
Hey,
I don't know.
I'm Talon, and this is Ruckus,
No,
and I'm
no
going to show you how to
ads.
start an online t-shirt business. Let's go. First, go to Shopify.
Skip the ad.
It definitely looks like a pair of eyes watching them. The air suddenly grows very still and cold, so they decide to get out of there quick. But as they walk down the road, a bright red tint overwhelms the camera for no reason. Watch this part and tell me if you think it's a glitch from the street lamps or a warning from the other side.
I have some at my dad's house. Oh, Dad, look, my camera screen's like red. I don't know if that's like, what
That's
the?
a light.
No, hold up. I think I'm tripping. Holy, it's red again. Look.
They think they hear a sound nearby and take
It
off.
could be the light,
Are they
who
running
knows?
from a spirit or their imagination?
Their
7,
imagination.
A YouTuber named Nerdy Gamer records someone standing outside of his San Antonio home in a clown outfit with a bright red balloon. He opens the door and the two share a tense stare down before exchanging words. The stranger does not respond to warnings or even flat-out threats. However, they do shuffle around for a bit each time after he speaks, which shows that they are at least
Creeping right there by my driveway, just staring there. He's been there for about 15 minutes. Yeah, you need to leave, yo. I already got the cops. Yo, you need to leave. I'm being dead serious. I will you.
Finally, he grows tired of the one-sided exchange and waits for police. No follow-up was recorded after this part. So is this a skit, or did a silent clown really come bother a YouTuber at his own home? Number 6. It's the middle of the night and Anna Grayson keeps hearing heavy thumping sounds coming from the hallway. She spends a full
Nice.
minute walking around to make sure that everybody is asleep, which they are. As soon as she gets back into her room, the house becomes extremely still and suspenseful. I get the sensation of being watched here, do you?
Please turn on all the lights, man.
And
You
it
can't.
does not feel safe at all. Peeks under the door, probably half expecting to see shoes on the other side. She doesn't see that, but what she experiences next indeed confirms her suspicions.
Don't tell me there's a face that's gonna pop up right there, man. Do not tell me that a face is gonna pop up there. Bruh.
The fact that she patrols the entire house and hears nothing until the moment she steps back into her room makes me think that someone else is in the house with Anna and her family. Something that will patiently wait until everyone's guard is down to strike. Number 5.
My guard don't stay down. My guard stays up.
Underwater Ireland explores a cemetery on a dreary day. Crows cackle loudly overhead like a warning not to go any further as she treads sacred ground. Underwater Island looks down and notices that all of the markers have a wide gap. I have never seen any cemetery with this problem before, have you? If I didn't know better,
I don't know.
it almost looks like the buried have been trying to claw their way out. She sets up some cameras and records overnight, and this is what she finds the next day.
Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. There! Did you see that flash?
And this is the same shot from a different angle. Also, notice how the gate opens here. Okay, so this frowning man wearing a helmet is what the image looks like when the video is stopped. Is this...
Get there.
Is this special effects, or did the spirit really come face to face with the camera moments after opening the entrance? Number 4.
Looks like
Jake
special
Duffner
effects.
is
It
live
looks like.
streaming some Fortnite and everything is going well until 3 a.m. rolls around.
But you never know.
Strangely enough, all of the weirdness begins as soon as he mentions how late it is.
It's the middle of the night. Why is this creepy lobby hella long?
Exactly 1 minute later, the door closes. Does it close by itself here, or was someone grabbing it from the bottom? This time he says he wishes someone would come in and test him. He obviously means in the game, but I guess the ghost doesn't understand. The timing is perfect. As soon as he says, I wish someone would come, you can hear the doorknob turn.
I wish someone would come and test me right now.
Next, his chair starts to move. I can't see the floor, but I can pretty much see the whole chair, and I think the camera is low enough to show someone crawling across the ground. No one does, so either they are using something to pull it from the doorway, or it's a ghost. Number 3, a news reporter named Tara Edwards and her cameraman
Yikes.
Derek Lee travel with a ghost hunting team to the Riverside Cemetery in South Rockwood, Detroit. Everybody is all smiles in the beginning, but all of that is about to end. They cross the marker of an infant and their equipment lights up. At 2 minutes and 39 seconds, you can see all the lights are on, which I guess means this particular area is as haunted as it gets. Anyway, they leave the recorder on and eventually they pick up a random word that turns Tara Edwards from a skeptic into a believer. They think it whispers manor, but I think it sounds like I'm here. Tell me what you think it says.
I think it said I'm here.
Number 2,
I think.
a YouTuber named Aeromax Music has to walk down the seedy hallway late at night, 6 days a week to get to his apartment. It always gives him a terribly dreadful feeling, so this time he records himself to feel a little safer. The entire time a neighbor is playing some creepy dance music that has a heartbeat and bass turned up loud enough to make the walls shake. You can't hear anything else.
Hey.
And that's precisely why this next part is so scary.
Wow, what happened?
Despite the loud music, a woman's frantic laughter is heard next to him in the empty hallway. At this exact moment, a visual disturbance appears in the bottom corner for only a few frames and disappears. Could this be his thumb? When he gets onto the elevator, the music stops and a weird noise can be heard. Is this a creaky gear or a disembodied moan? Basically, do you think these occurrences are all in his head, or is this a hallway that's truly haunted? Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills, and if
What
you're
are you doing,
curious
Kimberly?
about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT
Oh, we're not done
and
yet.
tap that follow button to find out. I recently gave these instructions to check it out. It's a proven fact that generosity fell beside it, then Thursday and Saturday makes a
It's an ad. Nothing. Mm. Rock on. That's dope. Rock on.
wakes up at 3 a.m. after, in his words, he heard some deep thuds around his house. When he goes outside, he sees strange activity around the flagpole in his local graveyard. These bouncing balls of light streak across the sky without a sound or any clue as to what they are. Sometimes they are dim and sometimes they are much brighter. Somebody said that they could be bats, but I noticed the lights always seem to stay at about the height of a person. It can't be flashlights because they keep going out after a second. It's impossible to tell what it is from this distance, and I don't think he wants to get any closer. From life-altering curses to a man's final moments on Earth, These are the videos that you will regret watching for a long time after.
I won't regret it. I'm gonna watch it. I got her ate the shroom. Her and my ate the shroom that night.
From life-altering curses to a man's final moments on Earth, these are the videos that you will regret watching for a long time after. Number 11. These friends are staying at a hotel when they see flashing lights coming from the bathroom mirror and hear rumbling noises on the other side. It sounds like a classic haunted hotel setting at first, but when they take the bathroom mirror and flip it around, they see two holes that look to me like someone was spying on them.
Scratches here and here that you can see directly through the mirror. Directly through.
But this situation gets way more intense than just a peephole. Much to their surprise and horror, there was also a rectangular hole cut into the wall leading directly into the next room over. Whoever cut this hole could literally climb through the wall anytime they wanted to, day or night. They could silently watch the group in the mirror to know when they were leaving, then climb through to mess with their stuff. Or worse still, they would know when you were about to go to bed and could enter while they were all asleep to do who knows what.
Fill the hole
I don't
up.
know how any of this ended, but I do know their lives could have been at risk if they didn't discover this in time. I think this situation is real because I don't think they would destroy a hotel wall just to make a video. Hopefully they called the police and caught whoever invaded their privacy. Number 10. Some people like their onion rings extra crispy, but not when the added crunch is because of this.
I got some nice roaches in my onion rings here.
They are so small that they kind of almost blend in until you see the tiny shriveled up legs. But I
That's
mean,
nasty.
if you were eating this meal straight out of the bag and concentrating on the road, you might not even notice them at all. Again, this is one of those videos that I regret coming across because I realized how easily it could have happened to anyone watching. As awful as it sounds, I doubt this customer was the only person who got served a big batch of fried bugs that day. Number 9. This video is of what appears to be a parent filming their child looking into a mirror. Everything initially seems like a normal clip, but things soon take a dark turn as the child turns to look at the parent, but his reflection does not follow. If you look closely, the boy's eyes in the reflection are now pure black momentarily, followed by bizarre head movements until the reflection once again matches the boy. This either has to be paranormal or elaborate editing. I'm leaning more towards the paranormal due to the sporadic head movements of the reflection because it appears too fluid to be edited. Either way, I'm pretty confident you will regret having to look into a mirror after seeing this video.
Nah, I won't regret it.
2 friends return to a spot in the woods where they think someone could be living. Yesterday, they were playing tag in the small clearing, and it looks like somebody was close to them the entire time. A trail of random trash leads them to a morbid discovery that they now truly regret seeing.
Dude, the hand is messed up, dude.
Nailed to the tree is an old doll with black and purple clothes and white hair over its face,
I
which
don't
you
do
never get to
those.
see. Still, the doll gives off such a strange feeling that they refuse to touch it with their bare hands, probing it with a stick instead. One of them hangs back, but the other needs to see what's under the long white hair. He pushes the filthy doll hair aside. The doll's face fills him with regret, and he is too stunned to worry about the camera, but his reaction really says it all.
Oh my god. When you make more gifts. And wow, you make more statements.
Hey, skip the ad.
When you make more. God.
Later, he says that the doll's face was completely burned. Aside from driving a nail through its middle, the doll's fingers look to have either been chopped or chewed off one by one as well. Whether this was a group of kids or a traveling wanderer, whoever rips apart dolls for fun is definitely not the type of person you want roaming around a minute from your backyard. And on top of that, I'm not even sure if this doll is safe to show because it could very well have been cursed. Number 7. This station in New York is so rough
Knocked
that even
out.
the rodents will take advantage if they catch you sleeping. This guy is zoning out when a 2-pound rat leaps onto his knee and sniffs its way up his lap. I don't know if he has some gum or what, but it definitely takes an interest in his right pocket. It can't figure out how to get inside, so it leaps off his leg after a while and runs away. Having a rat crawl all over you while you sleep is gross enough, but then you also have to consider the possibility of contamination. If this rat is infected, all he has to do is touch somewhere on his pants, where its feet were, and then touch his nose or mouth to get it himself. Number 6. A YouTuber named Dark Corners is exploring
Dark Corners.
the web when he comes across a video that he instantly regrets watching due to a possible curse. A nauseating noise forces him to take off his headphones, and even though it's in a different language, he still knows that he has witnessed something he was never meant to see. If you are able to read Japanese, please translate the text into English so we can all better understand. I just wanted to add that this long beep is exactly the same noise that hospital equipment makes when you flatline, which leads me to think that this text could be talking about ending your very life. Let me know if you think my suspicions are correct, or if I was way off with this assumption. Number 5.
I seen
fair
that video of
warning.
Dark Corners.
This video is
He
said to
felt
be
so
cursed,
uncomfortable in
so
that
I
video
am in no way
too.
responsible for what happens to you as a result of watching it. They are recording nothing in particular when a horrifying monstrosity rushes out of the pitch black backyard and straight towards
He said,
the camera.
He
I
said,
hope
"What's
this
up? The
video
party's
isn't
here,
real,
huh?"
But if it is, then it doesn't look like the person had much of a chance. Hopefully you won't befall the same fate for watching. Number 4. You are probably asking yourself what could possibly be scary about ice. Well, it's not so much about ice itself, but rather what's growing around the area that forms the cubes and pushes them out. A thick layer of yellow filth has taken over this restaurant ice machine, which is somehow still in service and making ice for customers. I'm not even sure what this specific part of the machine is used for, but I know I regret watching it. The yellow substance has crusted into black mold along the corners. Again, I honestly can't believe this video was recorded in a restaurant that was still open. And that's just what this ice machine looks like on the outside. What's growing inside is even worse. Take a look at this and tell me if you would want this floating anywhere near your cold drink. You'd think the cubes would be absolutely disgusting and easy to spot, but look at this ice. You'd never...
I saw on a YouTube video, they use this like extension called Honey.
Nope.
Never realized as much of a problem or where it really came from. Number 3.
I love waking up now on Saturdays and being able to enjoy my family. We never have to.
This video of the Watts family goes from heartwarming to horrifying. When you hear the terrible backstory, Shannon Watts talks about how happy she is while her husband Chris sits on the other side of the room, his back turned. Chris doesn't say hello or even move during this part. His mannerisms are very stiff and distant. He doesn't even seem to be looking at his kids.
Bella, say hi. Bella, say hi.
Sometime after this video was taken, Shannon and Chris got into a giant argument and he took her life. He gathered both of his daughters and took them along with his wife's body to his place of work while he buried his wife while they watched. Going back to the happy home video and listening to his children cry for their dad is sickening. I want to somehow save them, but there's nothing that you or anyone else can do.
And we're super excited.
I watched so many of them that I don't know the name. I just watched
Come here for a
them.
second.
Yeah.
Sadly, after they were done witnessing the burial of their mother, Chris
Buddy.
took their lives next. For this, he was sentenced to life behind bars without parole. Number 2. This man was a regular member of the community who one day simply snapped. You would never suspect that the man uttering these words is the same man who is a job counselor for younger teens. He appears to have no remorse and barely even cares. What he says in this video is a lie. He has not taken any lives yet, but he is about
What do you
to.
want?
He drives up to an elderly man who is minding his own business. The calmness in his voice does not match
Hey,
what
gonna go
he's
get
about
the
to do
light?
next. He carries through with his promise and
He's
takes
chasing
his
a fly.
life in broad daylight. Later, authorities find him, and he ends his own life as soon as they pull him over. He's gone now, but the steady and even tone of his voice while committing these acts is something I will never forget. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills, and if you're curious about what I look like in 15 minutes, enough to get uploaded, this next
Okay.
video is very difficult to
Oh,
watch,
I've
but
seen this one.
important to see.
This man took his life.
Want to play some video games? I know I do. I haven't seen the sun
I've seen that.
years.
I've seen that
So,
video.
let's play League of
Blake Courtney has recently lost his brother Cody, and he feels he can no longer deal with the situation on his own. On top of that, he also recently broke up with his girlfriend after a serious relationship. His 8.5-minute video starts off pretty normal, and it sounds like he is just letting off some steam, until you realize that these are the last words of a man who decided to take his own life. Pay attention to what he says, because if you hear anyone else say something like this around you, then maybe you can get them help. He says that he doesn't want to feel anything anymore, which is a major red flag. If you know anyone who strongly and overwhelmingly feels that their life has no purpose or direction for long periods of time without changing their minds,
I'm not doing anything with my life.
it could be another sign. Watching him say goodbye to his family makes this video incredibly saddening, but at the same time,
Yeah, that
his
was
family
sad
posted
right there.
this online
That was
in
heartbreaking.
hopes that it will save someone else's child from saying these terrible words.
Mom, I just want to tell you I love you. Thanks for always being my best friend.
If someone you care about is feeling this way, don't wait to talk to them about it and get them help. Ask them questions and let them know that they are not alone. It could make all the difference. And if you are feeling the same way as Blake did, then please know there is help available. I suggest befrienders.org because they are a nonprofit who offer worldwide resources. These videos are scary enough to make even the bravest person panic. Be sure to let me know.
Yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see about
These
that.
videos are scary enough to make even the bravest person panic. Be sure to let me know which numbers worked the most so I can get you even better next time. Number 10. A YouTuber named BKXC is biking across Tibet and taking some seriously steep trails. The train itself is loaded with enough natural hazards.
Yeah.
That includes the wildlife. He is on a mountain pass with a steep drop when he comes across a young yak that is ready to hold its ground. Oh. Yeah. It starts to walk away, but since there's only a cliff ahead, it doubles back and takes an aggressive stance. Those horns are incredibly sharp and every bit as dangerous as a bull. The only thing BKXC can do to save himself is get off his bike and use it as a barrier shield.
Looking a little dangerous here. Oh, you mother... Get back.
Thinking
Get back.
fast, he bravely offers himself as a distraction to ensure his riding partner can get across safely. The yak tracks them with sharp head movements and looks ready to charge at the slightest provocation.
Go. Keep going.
BKXC smartly inches the bike away to create just a little more distance between swinging a leg over and hauling out of there. If he hadn't taken those few precious steps away first, the yak might have felt intimidated and charged. Number 9. It's almost 3 a.m. and Sean Thud's girlfriend is heading out to work a late night shift. Soon she is calling her boyfriend, screaming about a man walking towards her. She claims the stranger was wearing no coat in absolutely freezing cold weather and came straight at her without a word. Sure enough, at approximately 33 seconds into this doorbell cam video, I can see a semi-transparent figure stomping towards her car at a high rate of speed. Then it turns around and abruptly disappears. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then watch the street lamp get covered briefly by the person's hollow outline as a reference point.
Damn.
Number 8. This CCTV video shows from the capital of South Korea a woman hurrying down the street. A man is also walking down the street with a black object in his hand. I have no idea what this could be and would like your help identifying it if possible. It might be important considering what he plans to do next. To me, it kind of looks like a handheld electroshocker. Anyway, he follows her all the way up to her apartment, and she barely gets the door closed before he makes his move. Failing by only a split second, he knocks urgently, one hand still on the knob, ready to push the door open hard if she were to answer. He then stands around for a long time, seemingly deciding what to do next. He alternates between standing in front of the stairs and standing in front of the door, and each time he switches, I can't help but think he is fighting a battle within himself to leave or take this even further. Finally, he decides to go ahead and give the door another try. It's still locked, so he stops at this point and presumably wanders off. He was later captured by authorities and taken to justice due to a large public outcry after this video went public. Number 7. This window washer is apparently unconcerned with keeping his life, let alone his job.
Hey, that dude got balls right there for doing that. The man got balls right there. The window washer? That man got balls. Look at
The
that.
brazen worker sees nothing wrong with standing on a ledge that's so narrow. He has to spread his feet outwards to any semblance of track. And of course, the only way to wash the window in this position is to fully shut it. Notice how there's no safety harness or any equipment for that matter. If he loses his balance now, the only way to fall is straight down. Meanwhile, he has to rely on a spotter to open the window from the inside to let him back in. When it's finally time to open the window, he has to wedge his arms in the frame and hold one of the most awkward positions I've ever seen. The cameraman, who is panicking for him, pans down to the ground to show that this video is not a joke. This is a job he absolutely would not survive. Number 6. Tiffany of the YouTube channel called
Nice.
Beauty and the Beast is making a home vlog when she turns the corner and passes something terrifying that she won't even notice until editing days later.
And 2, he was bringing in like all.
This all-black outline looks to be about half her size and barely human. It's facing away, and its bald head is hunched over a wide cloak that extends to the floor. I was thinking this could be a hat rack or something, except it appears to be in the bathroom, and I can see one of its long, gnarled hands poking out of an oversized sleeve. Judging from this video, I think this is either something paranormal or else a home intruder unlike any I have ever seen before. If I saw movement of any kind, I would have no doubt that this was real. Since the figure seems to stand completely still though, I will admit that I have my doubts, but more importantly, what do you think this is? Number 5. In January of 2018, this emergency message was broadcasted to everyone in the entire state of Hawaii.
A missile may impact on land or sea within minutes. This is not a drill.
What's more alarming is how everyone seems to ignore the emergency directions that are instructing them to pull over. Bethany and the vehicle in front of her continue to drive, even when told by the radio to stop. Although, to be completely fair, they could have been on a one-lane road with nowhere safe to pull over.
buddy.
If you are driving, pull safely to the side of the road and seek shelter in a building or lay on the floor. We will announce when the threat has ended.
The broadcast puts the entire island into a panic, and I feel like this live stream video summarizes everyone's reaction perfectly. The first stage is a sort of disbelief and the need to confirm it's really happening.
Oh gosh, what happened? Did you guys get that? Did you not get that? There's an emergency ballistic missile threat.
The next stage is acceptance that this is real, which leads to scrambling for a plan, even in the face of total obliteration.
Oh my god! What do we do?
And the final stage is panicking at the realization that all hope is lost, that your life is about to truly end, the urge to run somewhere, anywhere, sets in even though it's clear nothing can be done.
Babe, what do we do?
Hey everyone, we're giving away free Milwaukee and DeWalt tools. All you have to do to get yours is go to getitfree.us and fill.
As it turns out, this broadcast was a major mistake made by staff at a military command post. There was nothing this time, but based on these videos and countless others, I don't think we would really do as well as we would like to think in the face of an actual catastrophe. Number 4. In 2015, a hacker known only by the screen name Foster was able to infiltrate these road signs and change them to messages that would send panic to residents of Tucson, Arizona. These road signs, which normally were used to simply warn of an oncoming lane change, instead were changed to talk about nuclear fallout and other hazardous materials up ahead. Take a look at the passable font, lettering, and spacing. It all looks normal and has no indication of being a prank. Based on this video, do you think you would have known it was fake? Or would it have been enough to panic you? Number 3. A man in Spokane, Washington approaches a neighborhood home and rings the doorbell while holding a blade. He has, I interpret, as a concerned look on his face that's bordering on the verge of panic, as if he is about to force himself to do something he really doesn't want to. After 35 seconds of waiting, he appears to lose focus and turns around. He looks down at his feet and sways back and forth slightly, like he is some kind of trance. I think I can see some rapid eye movements with his eyes closed, and it looks like he might be in a dreamlike state. In other words, exactly the last person you'd want beckoning you to come to your front door. Considering that this exact situation has happened at this house on 2 different occasions, I'm pretty sure that this person might have an imaginary score to settle with whoever is unfortunate enough to live here. Number 2. In 2017, a different hacker took his hobby to new extremes by setting off every emergency siren in Dallas, Texas at once in the middle of the night. Listen to this and tell me what would go through your mind. I would probably think that the end of my life was very near. And from the top of a tall building, the siren sounded even crazier. I assume the person recording this is looking up, expecting to see fighter jet everything in sight, because that's sure what it sounds like. As you can hear, nobody is able to shut this off. The city has effectively lost control. Whoever did this was never caught. This incident really exposes how vulnerable our utility systems truly are to anyone with the right technological skills and devious desires. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills, and if you're curious about what I look like in real life, you can go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. I recently released the number 15 mixtape, but I don't think you should follow these instructions to check it out. It's a proven fact that generosity makes you a happier person. So if you're generous enough to hit the subscribe button and the bell beside it, then thank you. Also, don't forget I upload a new video here on YouTube every Thursday and Saturday. Number 1.
Move down, your way. Dog, what are you doing?
EVE Online is a vast universe, alive with the unrelenting activity and combined history.
Nice.
A YouTuber named RJ32 is at a beach in Southern California when one of his kids sees a fast-moving round creature in the clear water. Watch this part and give me your best guess as to what this could be. And don't worry if you can't tell yet, because you and he are about to get a much closer look. RJ32 curiously walks over to where he last saw what he thinks was a flounder and starts kicking around. Panic sets in as he realizes he's uncovered a stingray that was trying its best to hide from him in the sand. I don't think the Stingray is full grown, but take a closer look and tell me if I'm wrong. Mature or not, the tail seems like just the right size to go through your foot if you aren't careful. RJ32 gets a quick warning jab and is sent limping to the beach. If this is what a baby can do, I wouldn't like to see the work of an adult. Rarely are events like this caught on video.
Why he
That's
not
why
getting
you need
off
to
the
see
train track?
these
Why he
videos
just
for
running?
yourself, or else you would never believe they were true.
What?
Rarely are events like this caught on video. That's why you need to see these videos for yourself, or else you would never believe they were true. Number 11 becomes so distracted watching an oncoming train that he doesn't notice the one coming from behind, and all his terrified wife can do is let out a surprised moan. In a way, she probably saved him. There is such little clearance that, had he turned around, he probably would have gotten clipped in the shoulder. This is the closest I've seen anyone come to getting splattered. He is so lucky that no side mirrors or other objects were sticking out. Number 10. When a fire fills a downtown Philadelphia apartment building with smoke, one of the residents living at the top climbs all 19 floors down by himself with nothing but his bare hands.
Spider-Man.
He quickly devises a plan to climb down using the balcony columns for support. Firefighters and police have nothing to catch him with. If he falls, then the only assistance they can provide is by guiding him with flashlights and a giant spotlight. It does seem to help him find his way, but it could blind him as well, so they have to be careful to stay away from his eyes. Eventually, he touches the sidewalk and is safe. When you look at this view from the bottom, it's hard to believe anyone would be brave enough to make it all the way down this building.
Bro, I would have
without
blacked
shaking
out because I'm
halfway.
scared of heights.
But
I would
guess
have
when
blacked
the
out and
alternative
fell.
is potentially losing your life, you don't have much of a choice.
Spider-Man,
A man is
Spider-Man.
pumping gas in Detroit when he notices a small spider crawling along his gas cap. So he takes a lighter and sets the poor bug aflame, along with everything else in sight.
You
Panic
dumbass.
makes him remove the nozzle and unwittingly transform the pump into a flamethrower. Now the fire spreads across the ground as the burning gasoline pools outward. A massive burst of flames looks imminent until an emergency overhead system kicks in and douses the flames with a barrage of special chemicals, all because of a single spider. So next time you are fueling up at a busy gas station, just remember that somebody like this person could be standing on the other side. Number 8. I analyzed a video a while back of a barefoot man with white eyes who is able to keep up with a speeding car. Since then, new footage of the encounter has appeared, and this time he is in the streetlight for a better look, and you even get to hear him speak. In this bonus footage, he says he's going to end their lives as he charges towards them. His voice is full of anger, and he is sprinting as fast as humanly possible. I counted no less than 8 running steps in approximately 2 seconds here. Watch this part in slow motion and tell me if I'm right. Number 7. A YouTuber captures an apparition on his doorbell cam that somehow changes shape and color. First, it has an oversized white head with no face. Then it becomes see-through to the point where you can make out the bush behind it. And then it switches to a blinding white color without getting thinner. The whole time it somewhat resembles a human in height and gait, but how? Since this is the only footage of the apparition, we may never know. Number 6. A broken power line wraps itself around a traffic light in Manchester, New Jersey, and this utility worker has to safely retrieve it. He grabs the fallen end and whips it over with all of his might. The line dislodges after 3 tries, but unluckily for him, it lands directly in a pothole filled with water, and the current carries clear across the road. The whole reason he doesn't drop lifelessly to the ground must be his yellow suit, which I assume is fully insulated to protect against high-voltage electricity. He runs away as a spectacular light show darkens the sky above.
That's beautiful, though. I'm not even gonna lie.
Cam of a Manchester police officer who is directing traffic away from the power line as a precaution against this very event. Number 5. A police chase West Charlotte, North Carolina, changes from the federal highway to residential roads with a single right turn. Someone reported this Honda Civic as missing, and the group of teenagers inside are all suspects. They blow through numerous intersections and one-way streets until they come across their final obstacle, a slow-moving train carrying tons of scrap metal. It's like a scene out of a movie, and what happens next is something you need to see to believe.
The person who was driving this black Honda jumped out at a railroad track, run along the tracks, and now he has jumped onto this train.
The driver is out in an instant. His friends open the door, but then have second thoughts and surrender. Meanwhile, the leader does his best to keep up with the train. Running across the wooden tracks isn't easy, and a single false step could send him stumbling under its massive wheels as he reaches out for something to grab onto. He pulls himself up, but the only way he can stay on board is by wedging himself between two cars, with his arms and legs fully extended. The train is not going very fast or anything, but getting slowly crushed would be even worse when you think about it. It's a terrifying position to hold for any length of time, and as the train comes to a stop, he sprints into the woods, full of adrenaline, but short on an actual plan.
But again, I expect you're going to see some police cars on the ground coming into this area very quickly to try to find this person who is here in the woods.
The police helicopter loses him for a bit in the dense tree line, so they set a perimeter around the neighborhood and eventually find him before the day is through. Number 4. A man is walking along a bridge when suddenly a train comes fast in the opposite direction. He has only moments to react and trips while turning.
Get off the train track and run.
His stumble costs him valuable seconds, and the train is barreling down.
Literally get off the fucking track and then run off it.
But here's the thing though, this video isn't real, and if you were like me, you were totally fooled up to this point. Yes, that is a real person, and yes, that is a real train, but it is actually 2 separate shots spliced together to create the illusion of one continuous scene. It's called superimposed editing.
Nice, but even if it was real, he could have got off the tracks, ran, and then jumped off.
Real. I know I did. Number 3. A YouTuber called Douglas Cash stands at the entrance of these caves in the Bahamas. The stunning scenery grows less colorful and more claustrophobic as he takes a few hesitant steps inside. Soon he finds himself staring down a tunnel that looks barely large enough to support a human when a wild shriek fills his ears. Listen to this and tell me what it could possibly be, animal or otherwise.
That's a bat.
Connecting people with your business just got easier.
You can bridge the gap between online store with storefront.
My mom's heard that. Skip the ad. That's a bat.
Yeah.
Well, you know I ain't going down yet, right?
Whatever it is, it's about medium-sized, but vicious enough to tear your throat out if given the chance. Even Douglas doesn't seem to recognize the menacing noise and decides not to go any deeper. But since he did come all the way out to this area by foot to do some exploring, he decides to hang around the cave entrance for just a bit longer. After all, it's brighter here, and he doubts whatever he heard is going to come out of the darkness. He explores for another 2 minutes or so, studying the natural rock formations and whatnot, and then decides to call it a day. But unknown to him, looking back at him from the darkness are 2 glowing eyes that quickly disappear, and if you listen closely, you can hear some kind of chittering language that could indicate a certain level of intelligence. Number 2. This neighborhood in Land O'Lakes, Florida, was built on shaky ground, and now the earth is reclaiming the houses as its own. Within the course of 9 hours, this house is completely snapped in half and sinking into a swell of groundwater so deep that it engulfs a palm tree with ease.
Hey, Mother Nature. Hey, bro. Earth.
Hours later, the the sinkhole has
It was like,
quadrupled in
this
size,
is my land. You ain't taking it from me.
That can be done as the foundation is ripped away. Here you can see how close this third pink house comes to being lost in the abyss. Only a small strip of land protects its corner from going under, but somehow it holds firm and the family is able to recover their belongings. Sadly, all of the remaining houses had to be condemned because even though they were spared this time, the sinkhole could randomly widen at any minute. It's a terrible situation, but perhaps most terrifying is that moments before their eventual collapse, you would never suspect that anything was wrong. All of the houses look structurally sound in these photos taken months prior. The yards and driveways look level, the telephone pole stands straight up without leaning, and the roads likewise look smooth and have little cracks. In other words, exactly like your neighborhood probably looks right now. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills, and I hope you're enjoying my narration. Are you curious about what I look like in real life? Then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillingYT to follow button if you're a person. So if you're generous enough to hit the subscribe button and the bell beside it, then thank you. Also, don't forget I upload a new video here on YouTube every Thursday and Saturday. Number 1.
Remote office. That's next to you.
Can you leave that game
in the
unless you
morning,
want to play it?
and the man is walking home from work in Dayton,
But watch out,
Ohio,
they're good people.
when the ground opens up beneath
Very
his
good
feet
people.
and swallows him whole.
Walking casually walking, and
Well,
the concrete underneath me.
I mean, like,
Before
they're
he
good
goes
people are
in,
like,
he is
they can
staring
beat
up
me.
at a complete stranger who is pointing a camera at him from about 10 feet above. Also sticking up from the ground like a spear next to him is a broken piece of steel bar used to reinforce the sidewalk. It gave way just a few feet from where he landed and nearly went straight through him. Somehow, just by falling through a jagged chunk of sidewalk, he is unscratched and able to move. Rescue workers eventually get him out with a ladder before any more of the sidewalk breaks off and seals him inside. The city later explains that this was likely due to a high volume of basements in the area. So if you happen to live here, watch your step. Watching these videos on full screen is a major test of courage. So if you want to hang out in the comment section instead,
On full screen, eh?
watching these videos on full screen is a major test of courage. So if you want to...
Shut it, Chills. I'll watch your video on full screen, buddy. Just wait for it to load.
What are these bitches, and can I cook those in the oven at the same time?
These videos on full screen is a major test of courage. So if you want to hang out in the comment section instead, I really don't blame you. Number 13. Formerly known as the Biltmore Motel, the Graduate Providence in Rhode Island is said to be one of the most haunted hotels on earth. It was financed by Lace Weisskopf, a man who openly practiced black magic and wanted to use the building as a way to spread occult knowledge to the public. Now a YouTuber named Jack Steffens is sure that there is someone in the room with him at 2 a.m. So he records down the hall for a sign. His suspicions are soon confirmed.
Did you see that?
With absolutely no editing cuts at all, Jack opens the door and turns on the lights. It's an extremely small bathroom with practically nowhere to hide and no time for someone to quickly leave without getting past him first. Considering there's hardly even enough room for someone to stand on the other side of the door to begin with, it was probably paranormal. Number 12. A logging worker cuts through this large tree when it splinters up the middle and divides into two falling halves. He first tries to roll out of the way and then sprints away as falling debris covers the ground. He stops and the only thing left running is his chainsaw, still stuck in the middle of the trunk. Number 11.
Go finish your job, boy. You still got that one piece
A
left.
student on a quiet morning in Bartow County, Georgia. The driver in front of them waits like they are supposed to, but that doesn't mean the student is necessarily safe. She barely steps into the street when a truck passes from behind at a moderate rate of speed without any regard for traffic laws. The student, who is looking down at her feet, probably would have gotten smashed if not for the quick horn, which makes her look up and take a few steps out of harm's way. The poor student looks absolutely terrified as she gets onto the bus, and the blue truck drives off like nothing happened. The driver was later taken into custody and charged with a wide array of violations, which is reassuring, but more than anything, I'm just glad that everyone was alright. Number 10. When you live in the middle of nowhere, anyone coming to your door is a cause for alarm. But when
That's
they
a whole
approach your
kid.
house wearing this mask and with their hands tucked into their sleeves so as
That's a
not to leave
teenager.
fingerprints, you know you're in extra deep trouble. A woman in Mason County, Washington watches this tall man stomp down her driveway towards her security camera moments before disconnecting the live feed. I have little doubt that this stranger was going to try and enter their home, and based on what he was wearing, this person obviously gets a thrill out of scaring others and wanted to strike as much terror into his targets as possible. Hopefully, he was just going to take some items and leave them alone, but he very well may have had some sick plans for whoever was inside. Number 9. A camera pans across a white room
Yeah,
filled
there's
with
someone
antique
coming here.
furniture and creepy collectibles, which is already bad enough, but when it stops at a tall old mirror, they seem surprised to find a childlike silhouette filling out the frame. As they are studying the child in their shaky gaze, a pair of identical orbs float above her head as 2 pinpoints of light become barely visible, almost
Damn.
like she is turning her head slightly. I guess this shadow child could simply be a large doll. However, even if this was the case, as far as I'm aware, only the eyes of the living can reflect light like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but a lifeless doll should never have glowing eyes. The person recording sees the eyes and tears up the steps in a hurry. They would later refer to the event only as the girl with sparkling eyes in the dark. Number 8. It's hard to say whether this video is an optical illusion or something way worse. A White House official is walking next to former President Barack Obama when the reflection does not appear in the window next to him. Barack himself has a reflection, but this other person seems to lack one. This does look really weird at first, but it could just be the camera angle causing the reflections to overlap. Kind of like when someone stands beside you and shares the same shadow, or maybe his reflection was visible in another window off camera. Still, I can see why this video would raise some questions. Number 7. A village in Sri Lanka is surprised by these wispy white creatures that seem to have invaded local plant life. The takeover looks to be confined to vegetation for now, but no one is sure what this new species could mean for the ecosystem or the world at large. They just seem to have simply appeared one day, and they apparently aren't going away anytime soon. The creatures are closely clustered together and seem to try their best to avoid touch, as shown here. When you zoom in all the way, you can see they have a head and bug-like legs at the top, but the bottom looks like no insect I have ever seen. Number 6. This rare Russian creature is being called everything from a mole to a troll. The phone quality is too poor to make out much more than a tiny humanoid hand and a small face. Whatever this is, it doesn't behave much like a mole, which I doubt would stay above ground with 2 humans so close. Anyway, try to translate this conversation if you can, and let me know if they ever say what kind of creature this is.
Quantos saíram? Só Aí pra trás tem mais quantos? Cela 4 e a ala. Bora, bota a cara pra cima aí.
At the 15-second mark, you can see its hand more clearly, and it does look like it could have a well-developed thumb, which would exclude it from belonging to most species. With that said, I think it could perhaps be a baby possum, which do have opposable thumbs and sometimes like to burrow underground. I could be wrong though, and even after almost 100,000 views, nobody seems to have come up with a concrete answer. Number 5. The Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, is thought to be very haunted and was the inspiration for Stephen King's The Shining. A YouTuber named Ricky Rock requests the most haunted room, 418, and records himself sleeping. Sounds of movement originate from within the room. Then, at around 3 a.m., he claims a spirit entered his body. This is the exact moment it happened. He sits up and stares directly at the camera with a blank expression. I guess he could still be half asleep, but many believe that he is under the control of a spirit, and that's when some presence apparently made him speak in tongues. Watch this part and tell me if it sounds like something paranormal or someone having a bad dream. The comment section of this video seems to be evenly split between fake and real, so let me know what you think based on what I was able to show. Number 4. A man is filming this old medieval building on the Mediterranean island of Sardinia when he notices the curtains of a balcony window are peeled back slightly to reveal a small grayish object peeking out from the bottom.
If I gave you $25,000 today, what would you do? Pay 2 years off your mortgage, escape the rat.
Isn't this going on?
Zoom in, and it almost looks like a tiny face, or else the top of someone's head who is very short, perhaps a small child. It could be a reflection of the palm tree swaying in the wind, or it could be a
can't see
staring
nothing.
haplessly at the world to which it no longer belongs. Number 3. This strange spider has some kind of large growth running along the length of its entire underbelly. It's hard to tell if this flat growth-like structure is meant to be there, or if this is a mutation. It does look like it could help them float on water, so maybe this is a species I'm not aware of. Stranger still is how the spider appears to be able to survive underwater, and perhaps even prefers an aquatic environment to a dry one. Let me know if you have any more information about this insect. Also, I feel like the uploader says something important here, so please translate if possible.
Okei, moikka kaikille. Se on Stefan Mestari täällä ja nyt löydettiin serkkujen kesken tällainen hämähäkki.
Number 2. A YouTuber named Nightshade stands at the top of his steps after hearing noises coming from deep within his basement. Every time he says something, orbs seem to follow.
Hello?
He tries to keep his calm as he makes a request
Hey,
of the
buddy.
ghost to confirm it's real,
Hey,
and they're
buddy.
with him. Watch as the orbs seem to
We
go
don't
up the
go
steps
there.
when asked.
If you could come up the stairs for me if you haven't already done so,
Hey,
please do
buddy.
it now. If it was Mr. Grooters, you could go down the stairs,
Yeah.
but Mrs. Grooters, you would not go down the stairs.
And when he goes down the steps, one of his dogs seems hesitant to follow. They too seem to notice the abundant number of white circular orbs that now dance all around. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills, and I hope you're enjoying my narration. Are you curious about what I look like in real life? Then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT to find out. That's an happier person. You also don't forget I have fun.
At American Public University, we believe that higher education can unlock higher purpose. So we offer 200 different programs for those.
Fun. It's 4 in the morning when a YouTuber named Living Rosa gets a strange urge to check on the well-being of her toddler.
And I went in there and there's nothing there. I don't know why that's there and it's moving. No, it's not moving. Oh wait, there it goes. What is that?
She turns on the baby monitor only to find this white light mysteriously floating directly above her child's head. She has no idea what this light could be from. The room is completely dark, so there should be nothing to cast an oblong shifting reflection to begin with. Living Rosa quickly goes into the kid's room, and even though the white light is still visible on camera, she sees nothing in person. She wipes the lens with her hand, and the white light briefly turns into a black shape and then retreats, never to be seen again.
Oh, now it's gone.
Holy fuck, that's not good.
Hovering over the child,
Wait,
a glitch with the baby monitor. You tell me, because I can't tell for sure. We never know how we are going to react to a scary situation until the day comes.
Not really.
Yeah, it does. You gotta hide my hands.
I don't know what else to react to.
Yeah, okay. I'll leave him in there now.
I'm saying I'm broken. Okay. Opinion.
Donnie on the track.
I got a bunch of niggas in the studio. That's easy. Everybody get over there, never been a hater. I just stick to my paper like a stapler.
Yellow bone. Smoking purple LA Lakers.
If she give me pussy on the wake up, double cup of carrot juice. Oh, that's my savage juice. I just got the Audemars. Oh, in a paddock too. Tripping in that iceberg. Oh, in that capital. Hey, bro, don't you cut that hoe? Cause I done had it too. They said that they pack it. Oh, we pack it too. Run up like what's poppin' and was brackin' too. Said I would get rich, they made it happen too. Take a picture with your bitch and tag it too.
Savage mode. Rock and roll. Nine moves. Let him go.
She poppin' a bean. Nigga don't lean. Off white, off night.
Cookies and cream.
Oh, that's that
No,
big
dog.
drip, big wrist, big body, big whips, big glocks, big guap, big knots, big goons, small problems, big moves. Oh, sauce it up. All this trip, I can fuck around and wash them up. Hell catching like Mufasa when I started up. That's a wild body, bitch, it's hard to fuck it up. Listen like a baby, like spark it up. Let me take your chain and I'm sparking up. Hey, homie, take your chain and I'm sparking up. Like, what you doing? Fuck this nigga doing, bro? This nigga got Kimmy Zirconium stones, man. This nigga really trying to start. My nigga, you a little nigga, you heard? You a little homie. Get your money back. Double cup of Hennessy, we call it money at.
So woo! But I'm gonna blaze that. Grab her crib and have fun with that.
Now go back on that. Yo, I just got the pocket watch. For all you niggas pocket watching.
I really take your talking. I fuck her during tax season, perfect timing. Better than the person of me. I don't like tatted bitches, high Kalana.
I woke up in that pussy, her new name Bugatti. Bitch, I got that drip, my new name Tsunami. Oh, that's that big drip, big rich, big body.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. I'm trying to find a short video. I don't know, man. That's 20. Wait, that's wrong. This is 25. These are my old videos on my old channel. Obviously, the hour plus videos are live streams. I mean, hell, the Apex were live streams too. Those are short because those were for school. Let's see. I don't know. I mean, that's a 1v1. This is. 1v1, 1v1, 1v1. Let's watch this one. This is on my Xbox, and this was back in Kentucky. With a broken controller, too. That's why you can see my thing, like, swerving a little. Because it's with a broken controller. Ziggy, stay out of there. Should I do a Fortnite video on this channel? I don't know, man, if I should or not. Yeah, right there, I heard somebody build. Can't believe this is when I was actually good, because it's on Xbox. On PlayStation, I'm not good. I remember this by heart. This was a good video by me, actually. That was the dude I was chasing for like 3 minutes straight in this video. Just went through his legs perfectly. I didn't realize someone was shooting on me at the side. I did not realize that one. What, buddy? No. You can't. You can get up here. No, you can get up here, buddy. Come on. I don't know where you can see mark everything down. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention, man. Yeah. What do you want, Pago? You just want to be on YouTube? You just want to be on YouTube? Bro, this is when I was good at Fortnite. I'm watching my old ass videos. Yeah, you just want to be on YouTube, don't you? That's why in front of the camera, huh? What? Ooh. So weird. Oh, did you crack it open?
I think so.
Yeah, it's leaking.
Fuck! It fell on my hand.
Well, flip it upside down.
It's in the sink. Upside down.
Careful, because the floor's sticky right there. What, buddy?
Oh shit, that's not work.
No. No, you stay away from there right now. Okay? No, you stay away from there right now. Okay? No. You stay away from there right now. Till it's picked up. Alright, now you can go there. He just slipped on that. I would have died if he didn't miss me with that shotgun shot right there. I like them tatted bitches. Hi, Kalana. Did I get the chest there? I don't remember. Oh, yeah. Nothing good besides the minis. Bro, this is for real when I was like at my best moments back then in Kentucky for Fortnite. Now I just never play it. The gunshot was in the storm. I was like, adios amigos. This was the final kill right here. I had the advantage too. That dude had no meds, nothing. He didn't have any meds or anything. If he was smart, he would have stayed right there and just med kit, but he didn't. I don't know what else to watch.
realize now that everything that I did was wrong. Okay, I realize now some things are better off said than done. Okay, I realize now that maybe I'm not ready for love. Okay, I realize now I finished just before we begun. I'm done, so done. I'm done with all the games you play. I'm numb, so numb. I'm numb to all the pain you bring. I'm trying to figure this all out for myself. I don't need you or nobody else. I'm done, so done, so done, so done, so done, so done. I'm done. I think that it's time for you to realize I'm not gonna be here forever, but I wish that I was, but you were the cause for every little feeling I'm feeling inside. Sometimes I sit and I think about why I even trusted you, shit, I'm surprised. I'm walking away from you, it's about time. Want you to walk out of my life. You stay on my mind way more than I would lie for you. And you, reason I can't find no love. Don't wanna find no one, cause I'm done, so done. I'm done with all the games you play. I'm numb, so numb. I'm numb to all the pain you bring. I'm trying to figure this all out for myself. I don't need you or nobody else. I'm done, so done, so done, so done, so done, so done. I'm done.
No, I just pulled on the floor.
No.
So if you pick it up, check in your face, drop it in your view.
You're singing along to Biba Doobie's video. You go to look up the lyrics, but the music stops. YouTube Premium has background playing, so you can switch apps and
Skip it.
I got the ball like I get a bitch and make her famous. Next minute she block me. 30 in this perky, need to slow down on the rock seats. Gotta call my nigga, die down and skip the heartbeat. Looking for your love, but your feelings is the party. Pull up on the wrong street, you niggas get blicked out. Gun up in my hand while I fuck her with my dick out. We was really in the trenches, thugging in the chopper house. Tell me that it's smoke because you know that we gon' make it out. I don't even know which car I'ma drive. Running 3-5, now I'm too damn high. Bitch, I'm in my zone, don't you kill my vibe. If a nigga play, you know them choppers gon' ride. Draco clipping look like a banana. Look on in this piece, we gonna blam them. A lot of choppers when we ride, race the count up. I ride the corners, throw the gun over the counter. And I ain't gotta spin back because I know he dead. Ain't no survivor when you shoot a nigga right in his head. Paramedics answer questions about that boy in the meds, but they know he ain't gon' make it, so they pronounce him dead. Get a bitch and make her famous, next minute she block me. 30 in this perky, need to slow down on the rock seats. Gotta call my nigga, die down and skip the heartbeat. Looking for your love, but your feelings is the party. Pull up on the wrong street, you niggas getting blicked out. Gun up in my hand while I fuck her with my dick out. We was really in the trenches, thugging in the chopper house. Tell me that it's smoke because you know that we gon' make it out.
Hey.
Anything my girl really wanted me to say after calling me out, but I already know I need to make it mean like I'm just putting out a mission. Couldn't do that, so I had to go all the way through. Sometimes you just got to get a feeling shit ain't right. Nothing can save my life.
like I got her. And that in the top shot up. I just got the Range Rover with some 4Gs. Sipping codeine, feeling like a dolphin. He say I'm not a killer, that nigga don't know me. My OG told me put in work when I was 14. Going down a narrow road, going down a narrow road, going down a narrow road, I'm going down a narrow road. They tell me they smart, I know right from wrong. They tell me I'ma get life with this dirty chrome. Well, you ready to take a life before they take it wrong. And bitch, I been through some shit, I come from a broken home. I got a different mentality, bitches kill a be killed. I'd rather kill a rat before I write a statement and squill. It ain't no face up in my circle, real recognize real. I kicked that boy up by my car that night that I did my drills. Hey, we are not the same. I got murder running through my brain. Hey, bitch, I'm hurt up inside, put running swim through my veins. Put your feelings on the toilet, watch it twirl on the train. They ask you who I need, well, I don't need shit. Only thing I need is this got 23, bitch. Flying overseas, got a young nigga CC. I was just posted in the street like some cement. I just got the Range Rover with some 4Gs. Sipping codeine, feeling like a dolphin. He say I'm not a killer, that nigga don't know me. My OG told me put in work when I was 14. Going down a narrow road, going down a narrow road, going down a narrow road, I'm going down a narrow road.
That's what Lil Baby has.
Bro, getting there, slimmer and slimmer. Pray to God that I forget. Try my best not remember. It's a cold, cold world, and I was born in December. I'm forever stepping forward, you know I'm born in November. They try to test us, it's us out, and we start going and get them. Really show me what it was, I probably never forget you. Start having what you ain't had, and they'll look at you different. But it don't matter, I'm in my bag, it's getting bigger and bigger. Now the Range Rover Class Sport and stamps on my passport. Never know what tripping, I got everything I asked for. Young and out here robbing, I try to tell that nigga to mask up. We get all the bags around the way, niggas can't gas us. I ain't really got too much to say, but fuck the task for it. Keep minding my business, hold my weight and run my cash up. Sometimes I just ride around with my stick inside my damn truck. Everywhere I go, somebody put me on their camera. Range Rover with some 4Gs, sipping codeine, feeling like a dolphin. He say I'm not a killer, that nigga don't know me. My OG told me put it when I was 14. Going down a narrow road, going down a narrow road, going down a narrow road, I'm going down a narrow road, big body with some 4G's, codeine, a dolphin. When I was 14, I'm down road, a narrow road, a narrow road, road.
Ooh, that song was good. I like that. I like that song. I'm gonna end the live right now. See ya.